Let's move on over to this now. The IEC has issued a notice intending to cancel the registration of political parties who are inactive from its role. The IEC says it currently has 192 political parties that are not represented in any legislative body, have not contested general elections since they were registered, and had not renewed their registration by the 31st of January this year. Alex Mashilo, SACP spokesperson, joins me now for a discussion as the party itself actually faces the threat of deregistration. Alex, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it this morning. Yesterday, I got to speak to Simon Mabolo, the chief commissioner then of the IEC. And the note from him was that ultimately it's clear what the rules are from the onset up until the 31st of January each year. And if you haven't done that, then you get deregistered. Why is your party facing deregistration?
The SACP has been renewing its registration with the IEC every April annually. And we were going to do so again this April 2020, as we did previously. We didn't receive any correspondence from the IEC advising us that this time around we must do it at the end of January. However, after this,
I'm not sure if your line broke there, Alex, if you can still hear us. Okay, seems like we've just got a few technical issues on that one. Very interesting. He says that the SACP has actually been renewing its registration with the IEC every year in April, not between February or March, for example, and that they've actually had no correspondence then from the IEC so far with regards to their registration looking like it may be deregistered ultimately or brought to an end. So this is very interesting because yesterday when I got to speak to the IEC chair, commissioner there, Simon Mabolo, it seemed very clear that at the end of January is when the registration process ends. And if you haven't then ultimately registered or re-registered or put forward the documentation that you needed to, or you aren't in a seat in Parliament, or you haven't contested a national election, then ultimately it takes away your registration. So one, does it mean that the IEC itself has actually changed the days, the dates, etc.? Very interesting to kind of note. Alex, I think we might have you back with us, hopefully. Just reiterate for me again, you're saying that the SACP renews its registration with the IEC every April, am I correct? And does that mean then that's changed? Because it seems that the IEC keeps saying that 31st of January is the end of that registration process, so renewals will have to happen, I would assume, in February or at least in March by latest.
Yes, that means that it has changed. It would have been good for us to receive the notice in advance regarding the change, but we didn't want to argue that because there are changes all the time and there are good reasons why there are changes, which is why when the IEC, for example, contacted us, it was on the 27th of February, it was not in January. To the extent that, for example, we were required to renew our registration by the end of January, it would have made good administrative sense for the IEC to contact us and say, no, look, by the end of January, we expect the following. So the correspondence that we received from the IEC as a notice was sent to us on the 27th of February. But we accepted the change from the IEC. We embraced that change. In addition, we wanted to help the IEC because when they shared with us information about our party, for example, on the party leader, they shared with us outdated information, while in fact in 2024 towards the elections, we updated our details with the IEC, requested them to correct our logo. We gave them our logo, and it was the IEC that actually published a government gazette that published the new details of our party. And the media did run a story about that because at that time, the media thought, okay, the SACP was doing the update in order to contest the 2024 elections, but we were just doing the update in order for our information, including our party identity or logo, on the IEC system to comply with the party identity and logo as described in our constitution. Now, what we did in fact receive a correspondence afterwards from the IEC. That was just after the 27th of February this year, acknowledging that they shared with us outdated information, and they did assure us that now they have updated the information, including the details of our party leader, General Secretary Solima Paila, on their system. But beyond that, we explained to the IEC how we did things annually, and we committed ourselves to do it as directed in the notice, and we are going ahead with that. So we are not among those who are expected only to supply their representations on the 24th of March. We have done that already.
Okay.
We have passed that stage as the SACP.
Okay, so ultimately your registration in...
But I must say that we are currently in what we call the Party Building Commission. It is a commission responsible for party programs and campaigns. And the General Secretary just made an opening remark. He also indicated that he met with the chief of the IEC yesterday, and it appeared administratively that the chief of the IEC was not aware about the communication that took place between the IEC and the SACP. So that will obviously be strengthened in the week ahead.
Yeah. Okay, just very quickly, I've got 10 seconds here then, Alex. Does this mean then that your party will be able to remain then within the IEC registration then at the end, hopefully then, of this month, or will it take another 2 months?
The SACP will remain on the IEC register of registered political party. In addition, the reason why the SACP will be doing so this time around is that in July 2022, the SACP took a decision to contest elections in the absence of a reconfigured alliance. This decision was refined in March and April 2023, where we said as the SACP, we will contest not the 2024 elections, but the 2026 local government elections. In December last year, being 2024, the SACP reaffirmed that decision. At the present moment, the SACP is currently in its Party Building Commission discussing implementation measures to contest the 2026 local government election.
All right, perfect.
Among other things,
Alex, among other things, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
Alex, appreciate the notification, also just the clarification as well of this process. It's a very interesting one as well, really particularly when it comes to the dates, the correspondence as well. So hopefully we can find some more clarity on this. SACP National Spokesperson Alex Mashilo, they're joining us as the IEC looks to deregister around 192 parties who have not registered or still not part of the IEC roll ultimately at this stage, noted as inactive parties.